Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Providence City Council chambers. For this evening, we'll be celebrating a ceremony honoring our veterans here in our capital city, Providence, Rhode Island. At this time, I would like to call a familiar face to Providence residents, and maybe not so familiar because he's been retired for quite some time. With us this evening is a gentleman who has been a member of the Providence Lions Club for 23 years and who was the president of the club for 3 separate occasions. You may know him also as one of our finest in the city of Providence, as a Providence police from the Providence Police Department. He was the first Spanish-speaking officer to join the department in 1974, and retiring with a distinction in 2011. His final assignment was that of Director of Police Department's Mountain Command Unit for 25 years. Please welcome to sing our country's national anthem, retired 37-year veteran of the Providence Police Department, Inspector Luis Del Rio.
Oh, Jose, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, almost bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
See. Thank you. That was a great rendition, as always, Inspector Luis Del Rio. Once again, good evening. My name is Juan Pichardo. I am the Providence City Councilman in Ward 9, along with my colleague here and President Rachel Miller and my colleagues that we will joining us after session. At this time, I'd like to bring our Council President, Rachel Miller.
Thank you so much, Pro Tem Pichardo, and thank you for starting this tradition in the Providence City Council of recognizing and celebrating the service and contributions of veterans in the city of Providence. I am, of course, joined by my esteemed colleagues, Councilwoman Vargas, Councilwoman Althea Graves, Majority Leader Espinal, Councilman Sanchez, and I apologize to anyone I might have missed. I did a good look. And we're joined here by so many state leaders as well. Director Yarn, thank you for joining us tonight. One brief thought here on the eve of Veterans Day in 2025. We very often say, as Veterans Day comes, thank you for your service. And this year, but really every year, recognize that a veteran's service does not stop with the service and sacrifice when they were active. We have so many people in the state of Rhode Island and the city of Providence who have continued their service every day throughout their careers in public service to the city of Providence, to other veterans, to community members. And so I think that is worth recognizing and celebrating every day. And then also in 2025, unfortunately, we have not as a nation, figured out how to fix the most appropriate way to say thank you, right? Which is to make sure that every single veteran and every single resident has what they need to survive and thrive. And so here in Rhode Island, we are blessed. We have city and state that are bridging together services to make sure that people aren't left behind, to make sure that people have both the mental and physical support that they need. And I know that we have a very strong veterans community that is an active part of that every day. So I thank you, and thank you, Pro Tem.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President, for those kind words and welcoming everyone here, my colleagues that are joining us this evening. Once again, good evening. Everyone, as we gather here in Providence and our capital city, it is my great privilege to welcome you all to our annual veteran celebration. And I say annual because I hope, as long as I live here, and now that I'm a alumni, I'm going to continue to be an alumni of the Providence City Council and a veteran in the city of Providence, that we continue this tradition of never forgetting our veterans and those who serve. The theme continues to be a legacy of loyalty and service. Those of us who serve in the military will always be of service. And along with our family, we know that grandmothers, spouses, children serve at the same time. This year holds a special significance. Not only do we honor the sacrifices made by our veterans across all generations, but we also look ahead to a monumental milestone as this country will be celebrating, or is celebrating, 250th anniversary of the founding of America. Rhode Island has played a pivotal role in that fight for independence. And today we see the same revolutionary spirit in the unwavering loyalty and service of our members. Whether they're in the front line, whether they're retired, whether they're marching for the rights. We always say, and I always say, we'll fight for those rights. Doesn't mean that we all have to agree, but we will fight for a nation that honors the Constitution of these United States. Tonight we celebrate that enduring legacy, which stretches from the battlefield of the revolution right up to our service members today. So thank you for being here. And I'm truly honored to have in our presence the Director of Veterans Affairs for the state of Rhode Island. But he also serves in a commission that I chair, which is the Special Commission on Veteran Affairs, that the director honorably serves, and he's throughout our state representing veterans and families, and I'd like to call him to say a few words. Thank you.
Good evening, City of Providence. Good evening. Madam President, thank you for allowing me to come. And as you know, I serve with humility, to serve others, and it's truly a blessing. When we come together, serving others in the people's house, it makes a difference. And as me, so I look at what the City of Providence has accomplished in such a short time span. I talk about the mayor, Donald Brett Smiley. When he first took office, one of his priorities was how can we better serve our veterans? That's amazing. And then my dear friend Pro Tem, Mr. Fashado here, he has accompanied me this past year. This man has accompanied me across the entire state to see what can we do, and based on what the other municipalities do, and how can we infuse some of that energy, some of that items here in our fair city. And we took that charge, and we are continuing to advocate on behalf of others. But it doesn't stop there, City of Providence. You have an amazing city. Make no mistake about it. Do you know that the City of Providence is the home for one of the best healthcare systems for our veterans on the planet, right on Chalkstone? On the planet, in this beautiful city. That's a testament to all of the taxpayers here. And on Westminster, right down the road a little ways, a couple blocks down, is our benefit office, the gateway to our veterans to get access to the care that they've earned is through the regional office. They have over a 90% staff approval rating. These are the folks that are charged to take care of our veterans and get them access to the benefits that they need. Over 90% of their entire staff, 80% federal employees are veterans. Veterans serving veterans. And where are they serving our veterans at? Right in our beautiful city. Thank you so much for the opportunity to provide brief remarks. I look forward to what's next for our veterans. Well, we're going to figure it out. Stay tuned, folks.
Thank you, Director. As a director and as military, we tend to keep things very short and quick. Sometimes I mix that with the politics and so forth in our community. So thank you for giving us that overview. And as we continue to charge here in the city of Providence, through the work of the commission, the Special Commission on Veterans Affairs, and also through its member and meeting and really highlighting the needs of our veterans, we were able to brainstorm and came up with a piece of an ordinance and a law that was submitted at the State House, and it was championed by Senator Chacon and Senator Jake Basilian, and in the House side, it was Representative, was it Azanaro and Representative Slater, to give our veterans an additional tax break on their property taxes, something that the city of Providence hadn't changed for over 20 years. And so through our efforts, thank you to the commission, and thank you for City Council for working with us on that. Also want to recognize that Councilman John Gonzalez is also with us here. At this time, I also wanted to let everyone know that today is a very special time because not only we hearing from those who serve the veterans in our community, but also we're going to hear from someone that has lived almost 4 decades in the military and has accomplished so much. We're going to hear and recognize a Marine who is dear to our community in the city of Providence and state of Rhode Island. We're going to hear and recognize briefly from a gentleman that served in the Vietnam War and during those times of service in the city of Providence. And so at this time, I would like to call a very special person that has served with us in the Rhode Island National Guard, who has delivered an exceptional service to our state and to our nation. And we will hear from her just experience of how and why we come together at these times. As we're moving into celebrating Veterans Day, we started off on Saturday with the director and all of the elected officials at the national level, at the federal level, which they send their regards from Senator Whitehouse, Senator Reed, Congressman Seth Magaziner, and Congressman Gabe Amo. And we continue this weekend to say thank you for your service, but we know that we continue to serve beyond just one day once we retire. So with that said, I'd like to bring forward our special guest all the way from Woonsocket. Now that she's retired, she is also Councilwoman Sharon L. Harmon, retired Colonel. Thank you.
Okay, let me get it together here. All right. And I was just saying to someone just now, I was like, why do we keep our messages on our phone instead of printing them off? Now, if this phone dies, I'm going to be through. Okay. So first of all, I would like to say good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Warren, for inviting me to be here with you all. As stated early, I'm Sharon Harmon from Rhode Island, from Woonsocket. First, let me say what an honor it is to stand before you today. A legacy of loyalty and service. When I heard the word celebration for today, I smile because let's be honest, the word celebration and the military don't always show up in the same sentence. It's usually we're told, be here on time at 0500 and wait to 10 o'clock to get the information you need and bring a cup of coffee with you. But today, it's different. Today, we're not reporting for duty. We're gathered to honor it, to honor the service, sacrifice, and spirit that have kept our nation strong, free, and forever indebted to those who raised their right hand and said, send me. As a veteran, I stand amongst giants, men and women from every branch, every era, every walk of life, united by one simple truth. We didn't serve because it was easy. We served because it mattered. When I first joined the military in 1985, I didn't have a grand plan. I was a young woman who had moved from Newberry, South Carolina, to Woonsocket. And as I got to Woonsocket, I was looking for a challenge. I was looking for a purpose, and I was looking for an extra paycheck, and maybe just a little adventure. And so my father, who raised me, always talked to me about the military because he wanted to join the military, any form of military. But since he had a medical condition, he couldn't join, and I decided I wanted to fulfill his dream. I found all these things that I was looking for in the military, plus some sand in places that still make me question my choices. But I also found something much deeper. I found a second family, one that doesn't look at where you come from, but as how you show up. One that teaches you that leadership isn't about the rank on your chest. It's about the people behind you, beside you, and sometimes the ones that carry you through. Over nearly 4 decades, I served in a uniform. I went from a private one to a colonel, being the first African American to be promoted to a colonel in the Rhode Island National Guard. I've seen the best of what service can create, strength through adversity, born from conviction. And I've also learned that our service doesn't end when we hang up our uniform. I retired from the Rhode Island National Guard this past August, and I missed it already. I didn't stop serving. I just changed my mission. Today, as a member of the Woonsocket City Council, I still carry the same commitment to duty and country, but now it focused right here in my own hometown. One of my top priorities in supporting veterans, making sure that every man and woman who served is seen, heard, and valued long after their last formation. Because too often our heroes come home only to feel invisible. And that's something that we can change altogether. A legacy of loyalty and service doesn't end on the battlefield. It lives in our neighborhoods, our city halls, our schools, and our families. It's the Vietnam vets who still stand tall, very tall, during the national anthem. The young soldiers just who came home from deployment, trying to find their next purpose. The military spouse who keeps the fire burning. The Gold Star families who remind us what sacrifice truly means. To every veteran here today, and to those who carry in our heart, I say this: you are the reason this nation stands tall. Not because of the medals you earn, but because of the example you set. You've proven that freedom is not just defended by might, it's preserved by character. And the next generation listening, understand this service isn't about wearing camouflage. It's about showing up for something bigger than yourself. Whether that's a uniform, in a classroom, or in your community, we all have a role in this great story. You know, I often tell people that the Army taught me 3 things. Never volunteer for anything without asking how long. Coffee is an essential access life source in the military. And no mission succeeds without teamwork. Not in the field, not in government, and not in life. That's the beauty of the veteran spirit. We know how to adapt, overcome, and bring people together, We don't wait for perfect conditions. We make things happen. So today, as we celebrate this legacy of loyalty and service, let us remember we are part of a living legacy. Our duty now is to carry that forward, to mentor, to serve, to build bridges, and to remind this nation what unity under common purpose truly looks like. May we continue to serve with loyalty, live with purpose, and lead with our hearts. God bless you all. God bless our veterans, and God bless the United States of America.
Don't go too far. Thank you for your inspiration and your remarks and your example to not just only the military members, especially those who have just enlisted, those of us who've been retired, to continue that flame of service, but also to the community and the families. And so we would like to present to you, on behalf of our city council, a citation from our city council, be it hereby known to all that the Providence City Council hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to, wait, got the wrong one here. There we go. Oh, here we go. See, that's what happens. Wait. With the glasses, right? Hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Colonel Sharon L. Harmon in recognition of your 40 years of dedicated and distinguished service to our state, to our nation, and for achieving a historic milestone as the first African American to attain the rank of colonel in the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Your remarkable career stands as a testament to your leadership, perseverance, and commitment to excellence. Through your 4 decades of honorable service, you have broken barriers, inspired future generations, and exemplified the honorable service you have given us and the highest standards of integrity and professionalism. The city proudly joins in celebrating your achievement and in expressing deep gratitude for your contribution to the Rhode Island Army National Guard and to the greater community. Your legacy of courage, service, and trailblazing accomplishment will continue to inspire for generations to come. On behalf of our leadership in the city of Providence, thank you very much. And Council President. Thank you. Here you go. As we continue, want to recognize that members in the military and veterans continue to give of themselves and inspire others. One of the person that over the years that I've met here in the city of Providence, state of Rhode Island, was a young man. He's still young, so he says, but a lot of energy. One that gives of himself post-service through Progreso Latino as a leader, raising funds to better our lives in Central Falls, in the city of Providence. Going on and seeking guidance through the Lord, inspired to start a program here in the city of Providence in 2011. And since then, he's been spreading the joy, the love of the Spirit of our blessed God and his heart. And so I would like to call to the podium a Marine, because we won't say, as they say, When you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. I'd like to call a leader and a founder of the Elijah Project. As we hear the Elijah Project, there's not even one person probably in this room that have not heard that name if you live here in the city of Providence in the state of Rhode Island. And so I'd like to call George L. Ortiz Jr. to receive a recognition from our capital city, the city of Providence, and our Commissioner of Veteran Affairs. George. Come this.
How dare you?
I just told them, because I know Marines and veterans, they don't want to be recognized, but I always share with them, and I know the director shares with a lot of veterans, your service, your commitment to continuing the mission needs to be continued to highlight, and we appreciate you in our capital city. And I know that you have our full support. And I know you didn't want to be recognized as an individual, as an organization, but through your efforts and your story, continue to inspire all of us.
Thank you, sir. You don't want me to speak now, do you? First of all, I want to say this has been a long journey. The first time that he called me to do this to me, I was 33 years old. I'm 55. So think about how many years that was. And I came with my two little sons. You remember that? My wife, State House, he was a senator. And I was embarrassed back then. I'm embarrassed right now, as a matter of fact. But it does speak to, I look across this room, I see all these veterans. It makes me feel good. You don't see that much. Today, at our place, Home Depot filled 6,500 buckets for homeless veterans. Today, right? And as they were filling those buckets, the director Kasim was there last year. You were there last year. We're going to do it again. The idea is that those buckets are going to go into patrol cars from Massachusetts all the way to Rhode Island, up to New Hampshire, with the idea when you see a homeless veteran, instead of arresting them, you give them this bucket because they're in the street and they're cold. And we forget that sometimes even the active duty, Base Boston called us, and they need some food for the Coast Guard contractors who are missing their second paycheck. So as veterans, it's embarrassing for us to go through that. The reason why this is near and dear to me is because when we came here in 2007, my wife and I, it only took us 3 years to lose our business, and we were walking the streets of Providence looking for food. And there was no help for us because of what we earned in previous years. So the idea of service for us, anybody that's been in the military, even these two officers here, they weren't making a ton of money. And depending on where you live, it's tough. So we need to remember not only about the homeless veterans, you got to remember about, he's right about I am a disabled vet, 70%, and that street, Chalkstone all the way around, has helped me for the last 20 years, so thank you for that. And remember your veterans, because coming home is tough, and coming home and finding out that, your family can't put food on the table, but you just risked your life overseas, is a tough pill to swallow. Thank you. You want me to read that?
It's a long one, but I'm not going to embarrass him. But from Providence to Central Falls to Newport and Massachusetts, you continue to spread that help to families, veterans, and today here in our city council chamber, our colleagues, leadership, President Miller, ourselves, and we honor you and we appreciate you. And thank you and continue to do what you do best.
Thank you, Chief.
Don't leave. I mean, stay around. Please stay up here if you. No, stay right here. A ver. See, gotta keep him here. That's okay. He's gonna get me. He's gonna get back to me. He's finding that plan. You know, the next person I'd like to call forward is a gentleman that has been a mentor to many in the city of Providence, but also a person that many just as he grew up here in Providence of Dominican heritage, served in Vietnam, and continues to just push forward and worked with a former city councilman during those times and continues to represent veterans throughout the New England, but I'm sure it's also throughout the U.S. wherever he goes, but especially in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. This person I'd like to call forward is Dr. Luis Diaz, who is Vice President Executive of the Dominican American Veteran Association, DAVA. This certificate that we're providing you today, come this way, is in recognition of your leadership, dedication, and continued commitment to advancing the mission of DAVA. As a proud member also as Dominican heritage, your tireless advocacy and service reflect the values of integrity, unity, patriotism that strengthen both our veteran community here in Providence, in Rhode Island, in our nation. Congratulations for your distinguished honor as a veteran, but also continue service. And I hope that this ceremony here today gives you more life and spirit and inspiration to help us as younger people and older to step out of the comfort zone and step forward and become volunteers and help us in our nation, whether here or abroad. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. This is something that most veterans feel that we don't deserve. It's I don't know, it's some kind of humble spirit in the veterans, you know. We don't like to be in the spotlight. I tell my civilian friends, oh, tell us about the war. I said, listen, we don't talk to civilians about the war. We talk to each other, yes, we do. We don't share those experiences. Those are very stressful and so forth. Just briefly, I was 17, almost 18 years old, in Antillean College University in Maya West, Puerto Rico. And that was May 72. And a whole bunch of students got the federal selected service letter. All the students in the college campus were shaking, just, shaking, not willing to open the envelope. Finally, I walked a little way from the main campus, took my envelope, I prayed, I said, Lord, this is the last selected service call, and we're sending people to Vietnam. So a lot of kids, I don't know. Finally, I opened my envelope. Yes, I was selected. I was the lucky one. Well, so they took us from Maya West to Fort Brooks, the old someone. And they told us, you're going to have an English test and a psychology test. If you don't pass, you go home. Okay, great. Some of my friends would start acting crazy. Some of my friends could not speak English, say yes or no. Guess what? We all passed the English test. We all passed the psychology test somehow. We're shipped to South Carolina to Fort Jackson. And then from Fort Jackson to Fort Sam Houston, Texas for medical combat training, 91C Charlie. Vietnam was in the closest leg of the war, and they need so desperately so many combat soldiers. So we have no choice. But you know something? We have no fear. We don't have that feeling of fear. We have that feeling of, hey, they're sending us to Vietnam. Say, well, you crazy. Are you going to tell you? I said, no, forget about it. So therefore, making the story short, when people address me and say, thanks for your service, honestly, I feel a little distressed because I don't deserve that, that pleasant salute. And my response is, when they say thanks for your service, my response is proud to serve.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Martinez, please sit. One of the things that we hear as veterans when we are around this time, whether it's a weekend, whether it's a week, is thank you for your service. Sometimes people don't have the right answer. The answer is thank you for your support. You know, the fact is that behind that soldier that went off to Vietnam, he left a family and they were praying for him and their children. Behind that Marine, they're the first ones at times that go out there. Every mother, every father, every uncle, every friend, every community continues to pray for them. And so that's why we need to continue to step up all the time. The Lieutenant Governor is not here yet, but I'm sure she will, if she comes in through here, she will say to all of us, every December, community comes together to provide and get collectively a care package for members who are serving overseas. Is that correct? It's November 15 and 16 that we all can participate, volunteer, and contribute to those care packages for soldiers who are overseas. A community comes together throughout Rhode Island. One of the effects and impact that it has when we all come together, and you see it in the New London headquarters, you will see community embracing a community of soldiers and veterans and families. This past summer, Dr. Martinez and I and several others went to the first Congress in the Dominican Republic of veterans, world veterans, that was held at the Dominican Republic along with the national police who are retired. And we came together of 15 countries. And there, Dr. Martinez and others and myself came excited to bring that information to our retirees, including Puerto Rico, Guam, and Hawaii, right? All those territories. People were excited to go to the Dominican Republic anyways. But the importance of that was that we all share a mission, and that it was to follow orders, serve our communities, but then what next? And there is a next as we retire, to be of service, whether it's 1 day or 2 days. And so at this time, I'd like to recognize some members of the community that continue to serve in our capital city, but also in their own communities back home. I'd like to recognize Colonel Cepeda Soni from the Dominican National Police. He is a liaison with us in the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island and in New York to ensure that there's a collaboration of communication, but also inspiration in our neighborhoods. We have Roderick Soares from the Louis Armstrong Gladden Post 69. We served together in the 143rd Air National Guard. Now he's retired. I believe a Master Sergeant also. So thank you for being here. Jason Romes, the first descendant of the Rhode Island Regiment of the American Revolution. We have veterans like a guest who's visiting us, Juan Espinal, retired, was in the Air Force, but retired inspector, policeman out of New York and Washington, D.C. And I can see many others that I may have missed. but in our communities of service, of law enforcement, we're fathers, we're uncles, we're grandpas, and there is room, and we're serving our communities through legislative and stepping up and being elected. In New Jersey, we just elected a governor, right? And continue. So with that said, I want to thank all of you for being here, those who came from afar, but also those who are here. Let's continue to work together. Say, I want to volunteer. If you have a mother or a sister or a brother or a cousin that is serving in the military, let us know. Contact the director, the Veteran Services. Contact the Lieutenant Governor. Contact us in the city of Providence. If you're currently serving in the military, we're looking for fine soldiers to step up and volunteers in commissions and also in different capacity in the city of Providence. So you're all welcome to these chambers, and thank you very much for having us today and joining us here in the capital city, and have a good night. If you don't mind, if we can get with our distinguished honorees.